Warning: Superpower review is intended for a mature viewing audience. This video may show images that are not suitable for kids under 13 years old. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what's going on everybody? Ken Vidini here for a Superpower review, and on today's video, I'm going to be telling you why I think Batman Hush is overrated. Alright guys, before we get into the breakdown on Batman Hush, I just want to remind you guys that if you like today's content, be sure to smash that like button, comment in the comment section any feedback you have on today's video, and please click on that subscribe button. I'm going to be giving a lucky winner this free Spawn number 1 CGC graded at a 9.4 once the channel reaches 2,000 subscribers. So please show your support to the channel by clicking that subscribe button. So now that I got all of that out of the way, let's give Batman Hush by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee a very brief breakdown, and we'll get into today's review. This story begins with Batman rescuing a boy kidnapped by Killer Croc when Catwoman steals the ransom money for the boy. As Batman swings through Gotham City in pursuit of her, his grapple rope is cut and he falls to the ground, fracturing his skull. Batman is rendered useless and is brought to the Batcave from the help of Huntress. As Batman lays dying, he signals to Alfred in Morse code to contact an old friend named Thomas Elliot, who is a renowned brain surgeon. Thomas Elliot then saves Bruce Wayne's life by performing surgery on his head. Batman recovers very quickly from his injuries and is back on the streets in no time. He's also not alone. Batman and Catwoman have teamed up together to track down Poison Ivy, who used Catwoman to take the ransom money using a mind control substance. While being a team together, Batman and Catwoman start to build a romantic relationship, and Batman reveals to Catwoman that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Later in Gotham, Bruce Wayne, Selina Kyle, and Thomas Elliot, Bruce's old childhood friend, attend a play when it's interrupted by Harley Quinn, who then robs the theater and Thomas Elliot's mom's necklace. Batman runs after Thomas, who is pursuing Harley Quinn, and later discovers his shot, dead body next to the Joker. Batman absolutely loses his mind and brutally beats Joker, almost killing him, but he is brought back to his senses from the help of Jim Gordon. After Thomas Elliot's funeral, Batman is suspicious of a bandaged man named Hush, who is possibly orchestrating Batman's enemies to not be committing their normal crimes. The Riddler was the only villain to commit his normal crime: robbery. Batman discovers ash from the Lazarus pit in the Riddler's getaway truck. Batman starts to think that Ra's al Ghul could be the mastermind behind Hush, and then pays him a visit. But after having a very hostile fight, Batman learns from Raj that somebody has broken into one of the Lazarus pits. Meanwhile, in Gotham, Harvey Dent, who recently got a face job, pays a visit to Jim Gordon to tell him that Batman needs their help. Batman returns to Gotham, and Tim Drake has been abducted but what we think is Hush, but is revealed that it is the former Robin, Jason Todd. Batman defeats Jason Todd and realizes it was Clayface taking up his identity the whole time. Later, Batman meets with an old friend named Harold, who used to repair his computers and tech. Batman talks to him about a device that he found in his computer that was linked to him. Harold then admits to Batman that he was treated for his disfigurement in exchange to help out Hush. Out of nowhere, Harold is shot and killed by Hush. Hush admits to Batman that he has had a grudge with the Wayne family ever since Bruce's dad saved his mom from a car accident that he tried sabotaging so he could gain his parents' inheritance. The fight is quickly interrupted when Hush is shot by Two-Face. Batman later discovers that the true mastermind behind the Hush conspiracy is the Riddler. Riddler was the one to break into the Lazarus pit to cure himself of brain cancer. During this time, the Riddler also finds out the true identity of Batman. In the final scene, Batman continues to mistrust Catwoman and is unable to determine if she is part of the Hush plot. She then soon breaks away the relationship and walks away. Alright guys, now that we got the breakdown out of the way, let me tell you what I liked and disliked about Batman Hush. First of all, the best thing about Batman Hush is Jim Lee's art. It's absolutely fantastic to look at. I 100% agree with the fans that this is Jim Lee's best work. This book is packed with action and has a lot of good fight scenes. Now, the fight scenes that are most memorable to me are the ones that mentally broke Batman. For instance, the chapter that Batman almost killed the Joker was absolutely insane. There was so much anger and emotion in that scene, and this was probably my favorite part of the whole book, to be honest. My second favorite fight was between Batman and Jason, or I should say Clayface. The fight really broke Batman down mentally, and you gotta give it to Clayface. He did get a lot of good shots in on Batman. Now you're probably thinking, Kevin, what about that fight scene between Superman and Batman? I'll get there. And the last thing I really enjoyed about Batman Hush was the relationship that was built between Batman and Catwoman. As much as I want to see these two together, I know it will just never work, and maybe that's for the best. So now that's all of the reasons why I liked Batman Hush. Now let me get into the list of reasons why I dislike this story and why I personally think that Batman Hush is overrated. So Jeff Loeb wrote Batman Hush, and he also wrote Batman The Long Halloween. Now I feel like that Jeff Loeb used the same formula in Batman The Long Halloween and Batman Hush, and that formula is who is Hush and who is the mastermind behind the plot. Same thing with Batman The Long Halloween. Who is Holiday? Who is the mastermind behind the murders? Although I feel like that this formula worked for Batman The Long Halloween, it just doesn't work for me for Batman Hush for some reason, and I don't know why. Maybe because I feel like that the villain is weak, or maybe it just seems too similar to me to Batman The Long Halloween. Speaking of similarities, let's get to that Batman and Superman fight. As much as I love seeing Batman kick Superman's ass, that fight scene was pretty cool and all, but didn't it look familiar to you? Also, a man masked with bandages over his face and Harvey Dent's face being fixed? I'm not sure if Jeff Loeb is paying homage to Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns or ripping it off. And is it just me, or does Jeff Loeb make Batman, the world's greatest detective, look like the world's greatest moron? During the most important fight scene of the whole story, with Batman facing off Hush, Hush is giving Batman clues the whole time who he is, and Batman continues to ignore the signs, not believing that Thomas Elliot is Hush. With all of the fake reveals of who Hush was, it was very anticlimactic. You know the whole time that Hush is Thomas Elliot. I will admit it was a twist that the Riddler was the main mastermind, but we also can put two and two together here, can't we? The Lazarus dust residue being spotted in the Riddler's truck, and Raj telling Batman that somebody broke into the Lazarus pit. By the way, the Riddler would never be able to break into one of the Lazarus pits. This guy can hardly even get away with a robbery. The League of Assassins would kill him as soon as he stepped foot on territory. The whole story to Batman Hush was just very predictable, which is why it was hard for me to keep reading, because once everything was revealed at the end, it was a called it moment. So now let's give Batman Hush a CGC grade to wrap up this review, and based off of everything I have said in this review, I will have to give Batman Hush a CGC grade of a 7.0. This storyline just did not hold the hype for me. Yes, Jim Lee's art is absolutely amazing in this book, but the story, the villain is just absolutely boring to me. So now that I've given Batman Hush a review, the question is, would I recommend it? And I would say that I would only recommend this book if you're a huge Jim Lee fan. But I feel like that this story is not important to the main character, Batman, and I feel like that the villain is also not important, so I just say that this book is a straight hard pass. It's skippable. So guys, that's going to do it for today's review on Batman Hush. I know that this video is probably going to get some hate, some dislikes, and negativity in the comment section, but I just hope that there is somebody out there who appreciates honest reviews. It's not very often that I come on here to give something a negative review, but I just had to for this book because this book is just so overhyped. So again guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.